Hello, my beautiful, glorious beloveds. This is my glorious view I'll share with you. And there is one house across the river that they're building. So like 90% of the time, they see me over here naked, doing my thing outside, shaking out, being with it all. So they are building a house. So hopefully you can hear me okay. I put in my headphones so you can hopefully hear me. I just wanted to, as I was sitting here and just divine glory and appreciation for all that is happening, for this beautiful experience right now. It's come up several times, and I've had people ask me, how do I like to see the clarity, the micro alignment between certain things and what we allow ourselves to get pulled into and what we allow ourselves to put attention and energy and effort into as well. And so what I want to speak to is blame, and which is also separation. It's a feeling of rejection, judgment, etc. Right? Like anytime we put blame, it's a pointing outside versus operating from our wholeness and our unity, and which is accepting all that we are. And I want to just bring some insights into blame is a reflection of codependency, because it is anytime we're in blame, it's actually just a reflection of how we're not happy within ourselves. So if I need a circumstance to be a certain way for me to be happy, and I'm blaming the circumstance, I'm codependent, that I need that circumstance to show up a certain way so I feel comfortable, so I feel safe, so I feel happy. The same lower vibrational density bullshit things that we've operated from, it's all pretty shit, because it gives us, could be other than bullshit. I just realized that it's like, well, and it's all, I believe that the gift is always in the shit. So whatever we're seeing as the thing that we're doing, like I said, that is the same programs, ideas, parameters as the ways we've already been operating. But we go, oh, this experience, because this is happening this way, we look towards, if there is any looking towards blame of certain people, certain systems, certain anything, and what's happening in the world is to say, I am obviously finding layers within myself of where I'm not at peace and where I'm not comfortable. So this is why I always teach that your opportunity is to get comfortable in what's uncomfortable. In the discomfort is where your greatest gold is, because then it allows you to expand your capacity. Because if I can only go to here and I'm comfortable, now as I can lean into the depths of that, now I can go all the way here, and I'm like, it doesn't trigger or affect me anymore. Those things that were blocks or barriers are now expanded and transmuted, that I actually have a greater ability to receive even more. And so as we tune in and we recognize that when we are ever choosing to see through the eyes of blame, it's putting it outside of ourselves. It's not taking radical responsibility of how we feel, what we're experiencing, everything that's there, whether that to be like, those motherfuckers over there, they're doing this. That's actually just to reflect your own level of trusting the process of life. How are you a motherfucker? We know that we can go into those, there are very surface self-empowerment aspects of the spiritual journey that's like, all right, I can recognize that. How do I do that? And how, that's another aspect of myself I have not been willing to love, that's obviously being triggered for me. And so we know that when everything is energy and everything is consciousness and everything is our perfect reflection, just notice the easiest thing to do is to notice when the tiniest bit of agitation or irritation or dislike or anything comes up, and knowing, okay, yes, I get to alchemize that by first me taking radical responsibility that I am the source creator of my own experience. I am the source of my own experience. I'm the source of my own safety. I'm the source of my own love. I'm the source of my own abundance. I am source. And so if all of this is source, and we are all source, and I am connected to it all, that is me. I am they are me. So it becomes a shift from independence and codependence, as we talked about, to interdependence. As we are interdependent with the universe, the divine, whatever word resonates for you, your highest self, we are interdependent in that we are all one energy. And so it's like, as I am the source creator, and I also surrender to the co-creator that says, ooh, this is actually what you set up for yourself that will guide you over here that you aren't even able to see from this level of consciousness and human experience. And so as I surrender and I flow and I allow, then I receive even greater. So what I want to bring up is that in this experience, a lot of us can look to trying to find why it's happening and what's behind it, and look for blame. That is just a reflection of where you're at in your own mastery. That is a reflection of where you choose to put your energy, your focus, your thoughts, your attention. Now, that is not to say that we do get to completely step into our sovereignty and create the systems that are in alignment, create the ways of being that are in alignment. But it is only a reflection of what we've been doing. Putting attention on the matrix only puts more attention on the matrix. It only keeps it alive. If I put my focus on the matrix and I'm trying to figure out the matrix and I'm trying to express the matrix and I'm telling everyone about the matrix, all I'm doing is keeping myself in the matrix. Does that make sense? And I'm attracting everyone and everything that wants to be a part of that matrix. Instead of seeing beyond the matrix and that's operating and saying, I know the power of me as a source, and this is what I get to heal and love, that we do create. We step into our own full ownership of, if that's self-governmenting, because obviously as a sovereign creator, there is nothing outside of you that is required. So all these systems are, yes, getting to be called forth. All these things are being destroyed, deorganized. The cleanse is happening. How we rebuild and we create something new is we don't put our attention or focus on the old model. We look to create the new model. As Buckminster Fuller said, is that, you know, it's like the you get to create a new model. You only get the same thing. As Albert Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And the solutions don't come from the same state of consciousness. So if we're operating from the same state of consciousness, we get the same result. So what we can bring awareness to is, we've seen, like, when people do share, hey, this is fucking ridiculous and this isn't okay and da-da-da-da, how many people then spread that, and then that is all over our planet. Just like that? That was like a horse noise. I'm gonna do it again. Well, like, what happens when I try to do something? I force or control. Yeah, right? Let it all go. It just came out. So anyways, so when we can recognize the power of who we choose to be and what we put our focus on, are we spreading expansion or contraction? Are we creating unity or separation? Anytime you go, I don't like them, that thing, I'm not okay with that, etc., the energy is separation, the energy is resistance, and your energy is now vibrating not wholeness or healed with this thing. And then what it is it's saying, I have a block to receive. I'm not actually open to all infinite intelligence and abundance and ways to receive. I'm actually closed. Oh, it can only come from over here because I don't like those people. So we become really small, and we become only able to receive certain, again, to the level of the reflection of my own capacity is what I can receive. So now I'm blocking manifesting the life I desire, manifesting the new earth, when people are saying, hey, we want a better world, so fuck those guys, and that's wrong, and da-da-da-da-da. We're operating out of the same ways of being. And the blame is just a reflection of your own unhappiness, where you're not comfortable in this moment, what's coming up for you, because everything is a reflection in the world of what's really happening. So what we are here to alchemize, my lovers, is annihilation, destruction, being controlled, victimization, judgment, separation, blaming, all these things that, because we've tolerated, we have been complacent, tolerated, avoided, distracted from the ways that humans have operated and a lot of the things that have gone on. Now we are being called to actually heal and alchemize those and choose new system, new ways of being, that everyone is fucking supported and in abundance and bliss and joy and pleasure and service and love. We can't create that when we're still operating out of the old and we're focused on the old matrix. So it's what we do is we get to honor and love it and go, and this is what we're creating. It's not to, pull ourselves into it. And so, really this is the crown of thorns, is to awaken our humanity to our greatest wisdom, to decalcify our pineal glands, to open up our third eyes, to awaken to our greatest wisdom, and to be able to see this clearly for all that it is. So if we are, focusing on fear, fear breeds more fear. And so it breeds more blame. It breeds more victimhood. It is just showing a distrust with ourselves as sovereign creators and a distrust with life, and putting ourselves as victims to the circumstance. Again, when you recognize, and you can utilize this in your own life, that anytime you catch yourself in blame, it's just a reflection of what's making you unhappy or where you're unhappy within. And anytime someone might be putting blame on you, it's just a beautiful trigger and reflection of, you trigger them in, and that brings up, I don't want to take radical responsibility. I'm projecting onto something outside of me. So when we bring this back to energy, we see it so clearly, my loves. It can be so simple is so simple. It is so simple. It's so fucking simple. So we just get to allow ourselves to see how deep we are willing to go with the energy of these things and to be with all these things and catch our own stories and attachments, expectations, limitations that are happening, and allow ourselves to then align to and create the new stories, the new ways of being, the new experiences. We get to practice new ways of being human. And that's what all of this is coming up for all of us. So, you know, when I am, the last thing around this that I really feel called to share is that what this really reflects, our sovereignty, is to be an emotional freedom. So when I'm in my emotional freedom and I'm standing in my sovereignty, I'm happy in my sovereignty, and no other thing outside of me can take me out of my own happiness, can take me out of my own sovereignty. That is how you know you are operating from emotional freedom, or integrating the embodied soul, the embodied integrated soul. Again, embodiment is what we're here to be and do, not to just have information, but to actually embody the frequency, and the vibration is how we create a new earth. And so when we are, if we're looking for, you know, requiring things to be a certain way to be happy, requiring someone to show up a certain way to be happy, again, all those things are just the reflection of where we are not in our own sovereignty, where we are in codependence, where we are in projection, where we are looking outside of ourselves. But nothing can ever take me out of my joy when I am in my sovereignty. No circumstance, no person, no thing, no idea can take me out of my sovereignty. I simply honor and see it all for what it is, and everyone's journey. And so there is no attachment or expectation. I simply honor and love, and I can continue to stand in my sovereignty. So that's really just, you know, the opportunity that we have, because living free of blame is to live in heart-centered consciousness, my loves. And it also is the cosmic law of reality that we see as an experience, a reflection, is that what will always be in the whole will be in the one. What will always be in the one will be in the whole. That's why if together we begin to take radical responsibility and we envision the new earth and we operate from the behaviors of the new human, of the new earth, we truly become the alchemists of light, as I like to teach, being an alchemist to transmute the deepest wounds into the greatest strength, and transmute everything into the greatest gifts. When we all choose that is when we all blast out and we create that as our new earth experience. Although you can live in your heaven on earth now, because you are standing in your sovereignty. So I just wanted to bring some awareness around those things that, you know, that we can truly step into this. We can see the micro alignments. I believe in micro alignments. It's not the macro, it's the micro. It's our tiny little things we catch that reflect the macro things that are happening all around, and that instantly shift to allow a greater experience. There is no such thing as time. We can do this quickly and effortlessly. The more of us go, oh yeah, that's an energy of separation. That's an energy of blame. Oh wow, how do I get to take radical responsibility? What do I get to own within my world, and is being revealed to be healed in love? I love you all. That's my little take on that question that came my way. And I'm going to just send you lots of loves from Mama Bali. I'm going to get naked and dance. Love you.